So, happy belated Thanksgiving, guys.
Yep.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, how was everyone's first Thanksgiving during COVID?
First, sad. It wasn't bad. I mean, I just had some like cold garlic mashed potatoes that I made last night. It's amazing. I love Thanksgiving leftovers, especially when they're cold. I don't know, just something about it. But it was nice. It was just me and my boyfriend, and we had like way too much food and leftovers from like our family. We just ate it all.
Nice. I just hung out with my cousins as usual, but less so because not as much cousins. But one thing to note, which is interesting, is as I grow older, I like ham less, or the Thanksgiving ham.
Interesting.
I think it might have been because I think 2 years ago, 1 or 2 years ago, I ate like a lot of it, and I think the salt content made my stomach feel really bad. And then ever since then, I was like, I can't stand ham.
Interesting. Oddly enough, that happened to me with root beer floats as a kid.
Root beer floats, I see.
Yeah, I drank so many root beer floats. The first time I ever had it, I had so many that I just ended up not liking root beer at all, to this day. Yeah.
For the rest of your life? That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's kind of traumatic.
I don't like root beer at
Yeah.
all. And before that,
He
I
has
loved root
PTSD.
beer. Before that day, I loved root beer. And then after
You
that
know
day,
what? That happened to me for Milk Duds. Or not Milk Duds, I still like those. Whoppers. You know, like those
Oh,
malt
yeah,
candies
yeah.
covered in chocolate.
When I
As
was
a
a
kid, I
kid-
was like, there's nothing better than this. The crunch, the flavor, the texture. As an adult, I'm like, ooh, gross. I don't know. It just
I think
happened.
that's similar for most people. I think throughout their life, they just don't eat as much candy. Because I used to love them too, but now I hate them.
Whoppers, right? Or Maltesers, same thing.
I used to call them whoopers, but but
Or maybe there's just better candy out there.
yeah, maybe you're right. Well, Japanese confectionaries are the best, but like the old stuff that I used to eat for Halloween, can't do it anymore.
Still like the other stuff. I like Kit Kats, white Kit Kats.
Oh, I like
stuff
sake
like
Kit Kats.
that. What?
I've never had that,
Do you get
I
drunk?
got-
actually.
No, it's not actually alcohol, but it's supposed to be sake flavored. I got it in Japan. It's like my
So-
favorite Kit Kat.
Interesting.
Sake
I actually, to your point about ham, I actually never liked the ham, the giant big pieces of ham. I like ham in sandwiches, but I don't like
Yeah.
it for Thanksgiving.
Same with
Agree.
turkey. Same with turkey, unfortunately for me.
Yeah.
I like sandwich turkey, but from the big thing, I don't know. Maybe it's just the way it's made. Maybe I just don't like that particular. Yeah.
I think
It could
ham
be.
is always the same every year, and I usually don't like it either. I think I'm not a huge fan of sweet meats to begin with, and ham is always honey baked or something, or has a pineapple on it, and I'm just like, that's too much for me.
I
But
like
as far as
Yeah.
turkey goes, I know turkey's widely hated amongst people, but if it's made right, my aunt makes it really good. If it's a moist turkey, and
Yeah.
you're just eating the dark meat like me, I don't like light meat of anything, then I think it's pretty good. I
I'll
enjoy
agree.
a little bit of gravy on there.
I agree. I think that it depends on how it's made. I think this year the turkey in our house was good. It was moist and it wasn't dry, so I appreciated that. Yeah. But
Interesting.
How you were
generally,
this year, but maybe last year could have been bad.
No,
That's
this year
up
was
for us
good.
to
it
decide.
was good. I feel like it's been good over the past couple of years. When I was a kid, I hated it because it was dry, and now I think it's been good over the past couple of years.
Ooh, does your mom make it?
Usually, yeah.
So she's
Yeah.
that's her character arc. She's just been getting better at making turkey.
It seems like it. Yeah, seems like it.
I think I hate I know you said you love leftovers too, but I hate having so much leftovers where there's no room in my fridge.
That's
And
me
I
right
can't
now, and I'm
do
just
anything
trying to
else.
live with it, but I don't know if I can.
I think I would die. Oh, speaking of which, do you guys eat leftover pizza that's been sitting out
No.
and not refrigerated?
No, don't do that.
As in
How long has
as
it
in
been
you
left
bought
out?
pizza and then overnight, it's been
No,
sitting out.
You can't just leave it out overnight.
Overnight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's too long.
I can't say I haven't, but Actually, no. My answer is yes. I would do it.
All right, let me tell you guys a story.
I would too.
Hold on.
I'd be like, this stomach, fuck
All
you.
right, hold up. Maybe this is gonna turn to convince me not to eat pizza that's been left over overnight, but don't do it, because my friend from college told me she got the stomach flu from it. She said that all she did is eat like some food that she left out. I think it might have been more than overnight, but like might have been like a couple of days. But she did that.
Wait, but
a couple
pizza's
of days
different.
is different from overnight, Scott. And what was it? Was it like cooked chicken, or
No, I think it might have
been.
been. I think it might have been pizza.
Okay, because that's different from like if it was like poultry or like meat or something.
Or maybe it had poultry on it.
Yeah,
Could be.
maybe it was pizza and chicken wings, so it might have been the chicken wings. But
No, she's valid, because I looked this up the other day because I bought a rotisserie chicken, and like I left it out for a bit, and I was like, should I refrigerate this? I'm gonna eat it soon. And I looked up like, is it safe to eat like cooked chicken or reheat it like after it's been sitting out? And there was like this article that was saying that like food should only ever be left out for like 2 hours max, and that's kind of like pushing it, because when it's been sitting out for like 3 to like X amount of hours, it's like the stuff in there, it's considered the danger zone. That's what this article said. And that's like, it's at peak temperature for like for it to be like a breeding ground for bacteria. And then I was like, oh fuck, and I like ran to put the chicken in the fridge just in case. And I'm okay.
Good to know. Good to know.
Like, yeah. But I do have a habit, because my mom does this all the time. She'll just leave like all kinds of food out. She'll eat it later. And I just kind of learned it from her. So like if food's out and it looks and smells okay, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll eat this. But
My thoughts are like,
I
should
should probably
throw out my pizza
unlearn
that.
that.
See, there you go. You just
That's
convinced
true.
yourself. You should don't eat the pizza
no,
overnight.
yeah. Pizza I'll probably still eat, but like everything else from now on, I'll be really careful.
Because I feel like pizza's kind of different. But I
Well,
don't
okay.
know.
I've been thinking. I think I have to alter my position as far as overnight, because I have technically left pizza in the oven overnight and eaten it the next day, even though I know that doesn't really do anything.
See, I feel like that's worse.
It was
the oven is warmer.
not exposed to
No, I mean the
air.
oven is not on. The oven is not on.
Yeah, but the oven is warmer, so it
Is
like
it-
bacteria
it's
love
it's warmer
like,
than the
warm environment.
Such
it's warmer
travesties.
than the fridge, but it's not like warmer than outside.
I think if it's
Yeah,
like
okay.
if it's like a summer day, definitely like don't be disgusting. Like put your food in the fridge. But like
Yeah.
sometimes when it's like colder, I'm like a little more lax about it. You know.
I will.
Interesting.
Yeah, you have to warm it up though. That probably kills some of the bacteria.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm canceling it
Well,
out
I'm-
with
I'm
the
gonna-
microwave.
I'm gonna throw out my pizza because that's been left out for 2 days.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That might be a good
Yeah.
idea.
I think we can all stand behind
Common
that.
sense.
No, I mean, honestly, I've done stuff like that too, where I left pizza out and ate it. I'm pretty sure I've done that in high school, but I wouldn't do it anymore ever since my friend told me about like how bad she got it, stomach flu or whatever.
Sometimes I like it when the pizza's been out for like 20 minutes and I'm like, okay, like the cheese is a little more, like, I don't know, I like that texture sometimes. Because when it's super hot, like, I don't know what it is, but sometimes I just can't like taste it. But if it's been like really cooled down, I'm like, okay, I enjoy that. I don't know.
You mean
I
like
it.
hot
I
to
like
the
the melty
point
cheese.
where it's like burning your mouth and you're like, I can't taste anything?
No, like when the cheese is still super melty, sometimes it's just like, I can't explain it. Like there's
Tastes
something a little...
hot.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe it's just me. But when it's been like really, really cooled down, I feel like I kind of get a different depth of flavor, you know?
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
I don't jump on the cold pizza train. I can't do it.
Me neither. I can't do the
Yeah.
cold pizza.
I can't.
I like
I like warm pizza.
I like lukewarm pizza train.
Nah, it's got to be above. It's got to be significantly above room temperature for me to enjoy
Yeah.
it.
The cheese gotta melt and be
It's like
stringy for me.
In-N-Out
I
burgers.
like room temp.
I much prefer a warm In-N-Out burger compared to a cold one.
Oh, yeah. Me
I
too.
didn't know that was a thing.
Wait, do people like cold In-N-Out burger? Is that like a thing?
I used to always have, when I was young, my parents bought them and then drove back, and then by the time they drove back, it was already kind of cold.
Oh, because
So-
your house is so far from everything.
Most of my my younger experience is eating colder In-N-Out burgers until I actually like went to the restaurant and ate it.
How sad. What a unprivileged life you have, Scott.
But that's crazy because it's like you had that experience later on where you had a delicious warm In-N-Out burger. Like
Yeah, it's like
I
Krispy
wish
Kreme.
I could relive
yo.
my first warm one.
You know, Krispy Kreme, like
That's
when-
true.
It was the same exact thing for Krispy Kreme. When I first ate a warm one, I was like, wow, this tastes amazingly different and way better.
Yeah, fresh donuts change your life.
That's why when you go there and pick them up, you have to ask for the free one that they give you, like hot off the press.
What?
They give you a free glazed when you ask.
What?
Wait, just like, can I get
Just
a
for
free
free?
glaze?
If you're there and you buy some donuts and then you're like, hey, do you guys do the free glazed? They'll be like, yeah, you get a free glazed.
Wow.
Plain glazed, original glazed. You'll get a free warm original glazed.
I never knew that.
I didn't know that either.
Hey, but if
I'm
you guys
almost
go to
ashamed
like,
to be knowing this right now.
dude,
My Krispy
no.
Kreme knowledge is out here.
If you guys go to like the mom and pop donut shops, like the Cambodian ones, they'll give you, it's like automatic. They'll be like, hey, I tossed in some donut holes and some other shit for you.
Yeah, but that's the
I've-
one that was like from
yeah.
yesterday. I'm talking about Krispy Kreme. They'd get it for you off the thing and it's warm. And that's the best
That's
way to have
true.
it warm.
That's true. That's true. Well, anyway, Crystal, you were saying something about the Chappelle show before this video.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was like one thing in media that I saw between Netflix and Dave Chappelle. There was like a misunderstanding about his show being on the site and him not getting compensated for it. I don't really know how Netflix
So
stocks its library. Yeah, go ahead, Osi.
I mean, it's kind of like a whole thing that's been decades long because the Chappelle show was one of the things, I don't know, it was like early 2000s or mid 2000s that show was on TV. And Dave Chappelle basically was in a position where he had to give the rights away to that show completely. And so he basically doesn't get any money from it.
Yeah, he said he
And-
wasn't paid for it.
yeah, he wasn't paid for it, and so like now he wasn't notified that Netflix had it on its site and also HBO had it on its site. And
So
he
now
basically
they told people to boycott it.
Yeah,
Netflix took it down. Netflix took it down, right? And then other
Yeah,
Netflix took it down.
he called that out. He respected them after that. He was like, oh, that's good business. Like, I asked
Yeah.
them to take it down, and they did. I'm not sure where it stands on HBO, though, on HBO Max.
yeah.
I'm not
That's
sure
crazy.
either.
I've been watching it recently.
I was
On
gonna watch
Netflix.
it. I was gonna watch it, but then I was like, I'm gonna side with Dave Chappelle because I've never seen it. Like, I'm like,
Oh, really?
because yeah, I wasn't aware of Dave Chappelle when the Chappelle show was going on. I was like 10, and
Yeah.
so I wasn't like in there. But
I've never seen it either, but
It's
I
good.
started watching it and it's pretty good.
It would be considered kind of edgy nowadays, but it's really cool going back and looking at the humor that was like kind of more
Yeah.
popular back then. It's on. I mean, if it's on HBO Max, I mean, it's upon. It's up to you if you think it's morally okay to do this. You can like check it out on HBO Max.
I mean, I might just like for the sake of Dave Chappelle, like just like pirate it off some site, even though I have it for access on HBO.
That's
For the
worse.
sake
He's
of Dave
definitely
Chappelle,
got-
when it's this,
He's
yeah,
definitely not getting
that's
money
like
from
the
a
same.
pirated site, OC.
He's not getting money either way. This way, at least the big money-hungry corporations aren't getting money.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
giving it
that's
to the
a
little
debate right
pirating
there.
guy.
That's a debate right there. Actually, that's one of the reasons
You're the one that
piracy
pays
exists.
for HBO Max.
I do, but then my numbers aren't gonna. My viewing number isn't going to go to the Chappelle Show on HBO
Yeah.
Max.
I think actually OC hit it on the bullseye. Like that's actually a good way to support Dave Chappelle while not doing the thing that he doesn't want you to do.
Right. Just pay for HBO Max and then pirate it on some other site.
That's
When in fact it also doesn't support
That's
him.
probably a lose-lose for Dave Chappelle right now, is what I'm hearing from this.
Well,
but
Dave
okay.
Chappelle is already
The internet
losing.
cops are gonna come after you after we release this video.
Okay.
Yeah, stay right
I
there. I'm
don't-
calling 911.
For legal purposes, I do not condone stealing or pirating. This is all for entertainment and humor and comedy.
Speaking of stealing and pirating, isn't weren't you saying Disney is the biggest thief of all?
Yeah, Disney's been messing up. It's been kind of weird because they basically were recently in this whole thing. I don't know how it's been resolved or if it's been resolved, but one of the writers for the novelization of Star Wars and the Alien series, Disney basically just refused to pay him for his royalties on that stuff. And it's interesting because it's kind of started this whole discussion online about Disney as a company. And it's kind of been like a personal thing that I've been thinking about as far as my own thoughts on Disney. And they basically, their whole model is taking property that they didn't create. It's not necessarily original to them, but then they change it up and like they rebrand it or like they Disneyfy it essentially. So all of the fairy tales from the Grimm fairy tale stories, all of those original stories, they started out and they're taking it and like making it cute and happy stories and more like that, and that's basically how they got their start. And they essentially do that for a lot of their big name things, is they take a property and then they Disneyfy it and they re-release it. They, Star Wars, Marvel, stuff like that.
I mean, to be fair, that is a great content creation strategy right there.
It is, and I'm not necessarily mad at it. And I think that the issue with Disney specifically is that that's how they make their money, but they then turn around and they inhibit other people from doing what they did. So, for example, what's the copyright laws, or like how what's the word, public domain? Do you guys know about public domain?
Yeah, fair use and all that stuff.
Fair use and
DMCA.
Yeah. So there's a time limit on property that is created for like stories. For example, there are certain stories that anybody can pull from and anybody can tell. So Robin Hood, for example, is a story that is old enough to where it doesn't necessarily belong to any particular person. You don't have to pay somebody to tell a Robin Hood story. You can basically make a Robin Hood story. But what Disney did is they basically changed the laws around that type of thing to where even like 100+ years after the creation of a character like Mickey Mouse is still a character that you have to pay Disney in order to use. And the same goes with like a lot of their story or fairy tale versions of the stuff that they've made, even though like it's been decades and decades, like they still basically own the rights to it, even though they used other people's property to build themselves up.
Yeah, I mean that's more of an issue with the law, I feel. I mean, like, they're not the ones. If they have the money, I guess they can lobby to keep that law in place. But
that's what they're doing, because the time limit for Mickey Mouse has come up multiple times, and like Disney as a corporation has lobbied to have the law changed to where it was like, at first it was like 10 years and then like 20 years and then 50 years, and then ultimately it was indefinitely. And so basically they changed the laws specifically for themselves.
But I mean, like, who's to say you can't make a character called Dickie Mouse or something and then make him look almost the same? Like, it's at that point, you don't have to worry about copyright.
You probably still do. Disney will probably get you.
Yeah,
they will.
They might. The
mouse sees everything.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's like trademark stuff with bags and whatnot and designs, it's gonna happen, because they do that for like Chinatown made items.
Mm-hmm. It's just an interesting thing to think about, because I feel like even in recent years, the quality of movies that we've been getting from Disney has been declining.
I agree.
I feel like, and there's a time and a period for everything. There was a time when Disney wasn't on top in like the early 90s and the 80s and stuff like that. So maybe this is just their time, and eventually like we might be seeing a decline, because I don't really know of anything in recent years that I've been excited about with Disney specifically. And the fact that they now have all the properties from Fox is just like, it's disappointing, because I feel like they will ultimately just Disneyfy everything that they touch, and that kind of that sucks. It's cool when Disney has its own corner and they do their thing in their corner and they do it well. But then everybody else can play. But then when they're just taking everybody else's stuff and they're putting it in their corner, it's kind of like, wait, I don't want everything to be have this
monopoly.
Disney sheen on it.
Yeah,
Like, there
I understand what you're
all
saying.
the experimental like film projects and like cool takes on like characters that are owned by like other studios. Like you said, Disneyfication is like the name of the game when it comes to all the properties that they own.
Exactly.
And then when there's no
wanna see
competition, then you know the stories, like the media is worse because no one's challenging them.
Yeah, but
Yeah, exactly.
I think at least I think the law of the world says once there's a void left, it will be filled somehow.
That's true. Yeah, I agree. And so we'll see. This might be an opportunity for somebody else to come along and to, fill in that void that's been created. But
I mean, the movie industry is so hard because they could just attack you. Like if someone comes along, like, if they have not built up reputation or whatnot, it's going to be over. And there's also like a bunch of fake news too that people can create. And I mean, sadly, that's the world we live in today.
yeah, there's a lot to look out for.
Yeah.
But on a brighter note, I've gotten into another quarantine hobby. I got a record table a couple weeks ago, and I've just been I've gotten way too many records. They cost too much money. I can't be doing
Yeah,
this.
I was gonna say that's an expensive hobby because
It
my
is.
boyfriend has a ton of records and he invested in a sound system and a nice record table and it's like probably upwards of like $2,000 already.
Oh no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to
Because
do
the
that.
vinyls themselves, like, it really depends, like what edition you're getting to, and
It does.
and if,
It does.
if they're sold out.
I know it sucks. And some of them are just like, some of them will be $15 and some of them are like $100. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, why?
I think, there's some collectors out there that care about like, how many were in circulation. Like the rarer it is, the more expensive it's going to be,
Yeah.
and the more like, I don't know, special it's going to be to own. Just like a trading card or something.
Yeah, I don't necessarily care about that aspect. I think it's just like, it's a really cool way to listen to music because it forces you to, sit there and listen to song after song.
Yeah.
And I was talking about how I just bought Good Kid, Mad City from Kendrick Lamar, and I've listened to like the songs of that album before, like tons of times, but I've never actually listened to the album front to back, like as a story. And so like listening to that album in its entirety from front to back was just a different experience, and it's a really cool way to listen to music, I think.
This is funny because I was having the same conversation with my friend like 2 days ago, and the way when you listen to a vinyl, it's what the artist wanted you, or how the artist wanted you to listen to their album and to like the story and how much thought they put into categorizing it or something like that.
Yeah, the sequencing of the songs.
Yeah, the sequence of the songs.
Yeah.
And the way the songs sound on a vinyl is pretty different too.
It's true. That's true.
But it's cool. It's cool. It's definitely different to listen to everything in order versus like picking your favorite song that you like.
Yeah, and you just listen to that.
And aesthetically, it's cool because sometimes like the vinyls can have like cool patterns on them. Some of them can be clear, and then some editions can have like extra like album art in it, which is cool. I really like
Yeah.
it because then that's like
Yeah.
another part of the experience for that album that the artist wanted you to have, which is cool.
I waited 6 months for like Taylor Swift's vinyl album to be sent to me.
worth it.
And like the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill album, like the art that they have on like the inside of it is just like, oh, these pictures are just so beautiful. Like they could have been their own cover art for the album, and stuff like that. Yeah.
I don't know much about these things, so once quarantine or once COVID has gone down, I should come over and check it out.
Yeah,
we'll educate you.
Definitely.
We'll educate.
Music's like a really cool thing. I think it's great to just like listen and enjoy.
I haven't been a person that has been like too deep into music. Like that isn't like my hobby, I guess. But I like listening to music. I'm just not someone who is like music centered.
Let's make a playlist and we can all listen to it like together.
Definitely. I think Crystal and I are pretty similar in our music tastes as far as like the stuff we've discussed. But I don't know if it's weird. I feel like music is just one thing that I really enjoy, but I don't know if I'm like music centered. I really enjoy it and I really like listening to it. But
I think music is incredible. I think music is life.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know about that. I think the only time I got like super deep into music and I would like constantly search and stuff is in middle school. And that was like my emo phase.
So it was like Fall Out Boy, Panic at
Fall
the
Out
Disco,
Boy, Blink-182.
Yeah, I mean this is just
Paramore.
This is just personal to me, but like I think music evokes the most emotion out of all arts. That's just for me.
I might. Yeah, it's crazy. I was thinking about
Music has made me cry before. Like, it depends. Like, if I connect with the lyrics and I'm going through an experience or a situation right now, it's crazy. I took a psychology class and we had to make a playlist of our life, and each song had to be like some moment in our life that was impactful, and like I was crying giving my presentation.
Oh, dang. Yeah, I was thinking about the song Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. And that song, I don't even know like what it is about it, because even from like early days, I've always felt like a strong emotion listening to that song. And
you and everybody else.
I mean, yeah, I feel like but I've never like been brought to tears, but I honestly, like, the older I get, the more I feel like that song is like tugging on my tear ducts to like make it come out.
Yeah.
And it's like, no.
Well, that's a perfect song, and I think Stevie Nicks has like an amazing voice because of it. Just there's like a fragility to it, but it's also, I mean, she has a great range and a great voice. But yeah, that song's a tearjerker. I really love music. I mean, I go into phases where I'm like really into music, then I'll like jump in and out. But it's like sometimes I get overwhelmed by it because it's like some people have like an amazing music knowledge, and I think like, dude, that must be so fulfilling, because it's like music is always good. It's like never gonna hurt you. Like obviously like it can make you feel very strong emotions, but it's always gratifying to like learn about like new artists, new music, and then it's like there's so much good music from like other countries and different languages, and it's just like universal. Like everyone can enjoy the same music and different music, but like everyone understands the language of music, and it's just so like old too. Like music is like a very old form of art, and like music history is super interesting. Like if you go back and like, I mean, if you're going to school, just take like an extracurricular, take one music class. Like it's gonna be worth it, and you're gonna get like a really good appreciation for music. I
think even playing music or playing music is something that makes it even more, as in like playing. For me, piano, right? So whenever I practice a piece, even when I just first listened to it compared to after I practiced it like and played it through like over 100 times, it actually gets better. Listening to it, because you just hear so much more, and there's certain pieces that purely piano that I just love and evoke so much emotion. It's crazy. It's just one instrument too. So for me, that's why it's so important for me. That's why I think it's like something that moves me like the most out of all arts.
I wish I played more instruments, or any instruments really, because it's like when you have that kind of technical appreciation too, that's a whole nother level of enjoyment that I feel like I'm missing out on. So I can't even imagine, Scott, like what you're feeling. But I think you can learn something someday.
I think everyone can learn for sure. Yeah.
Definitely. I've definitely been spending some quarantine time trying to practice piano as often as I can, because At this point right now, I'm comfortable with chords, and I'm trying to get more comfortable sight reading and stuff like that. But it definitely adds another level of appreciation to music. Definitely.
Yeah. I do have to say, instrumentals for me hit different. Like I'm more emotionally like invested when I listen to an instrumental piece versus when I listen to like music that has lyrics. Because there was a period of time, especially like Chinese instrumental, like the erhu.
I love the erhu.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a period of time in my life. It was a very sad period of time, and I would listen to that like driving to school or like just coming back or just like in my room, and I would just be crying. But it's not like it's. I think it's just because I was able to connect, and that type of music was able to like help me go through what I was going through. But yeah, it was. I think it also because the erhu is fucking sad.
Is erhu a style or an instrument?
It's an instrument.
It's an instrument.
Okay.
The way I think that type of instrument does really well for somber pieces.
Is it a string instrument?
100% string.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. That's amazing. Yeah, music is
It's
powerful.
It kind of looks like not a banjo, but it's as small as that, and then it's kind of like
It's like a standing banjo almost, like, right?
Yeah.
From the way it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's played with like a whatever this is called.
A bow.
Stick.
That.
A bow, yes. Thanks, Scott, the person that plays instruments here.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's been about 30 something minutes. Do you guys want to close off this hangout session?
I mean, to leave it on a brighter note, I mean, we have Christmas to look forward to, and hopefully we get to spend more time with our families, and maybe lockdown will be over.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you guys again.
Oh, seriously.
Same.
All right.
All right.